The term Marquis is an Old World 13th century title that was assigned to a nobleman that ranked below a duke, but above an earl or a count. This is fitting given the Mercury Grand Marquis was a middle child, ranked somewhere in class between Ford Motor Company's Lincoln and Ford branded offerings. As with most middle children, there was a need to stand out and make a name for oneself. And what better name than Grand Marquis? The 1970s were a time of turmoil in the automotive industry. Effort was made to distract from the reality of decreased horsepower by conjuring images of old-world luxury and splendor. The first Marquis arrived in 1967. It featured a 410 cubic inch V8, luxury sound insulation, and one of the earliest offerings of Ford's legendary twin-comfort lounge seating. For 1970, Marquis was offered as the luxury variant of Mercury's other offerings, the sporty Marauder and more entry-level Monterey. The Marquis Brougham sedan represented the pinnacle of luxury in Mercury's lineup with a 124-inch wheelbase and pillared hardtop styling. By the dawn of the 70s, Marquis was already basking in a harvest gold-tinted glow of success. Part of the reason for that success was a genuine dedication to ride comfort. Full-sized Ford offerings of this era are known for a ride that truly does isolate from the harsh realities of a difficult era. The Grand Marquis would arrive by the mid-70s and offered decadent for the era features such as a 460 cubic inch V8 and 22-ounce deep shag carpeting. Headlamps on the Grand Marquis were concealed by doors that featured padded appliques with intricate ornamentation. The look was exactly what many of our grandparents found to be the perfect choice for their early retirement years. And a look that inspired Grand Marquis for years to come. The Grand Marquis is a car both my grandparents and parents drove, so it holds a special place. When it became clear that my parents' little Fiat would not serve Dad well after his recent health setbacks, I began the search for a car that would be both more comfortable as well as serve as a connection to our past. Imagine my surprise when I discovered this showroom condition 91 Grand Marquis. It belonged to the seller's father, and it was clear this car was very well taken care of and very special. It is always unnerving traveling a great distance, in this case from Texas to Pennsylvania, to pick up a car. But this grandest of Mercuries was truly breathtaking, and would serve as a truly worthy replacement of Dad's beloved Grand Marquis that was taken out by a drunk driver only a short time after he took ownership of it back in the early 90s. This special Mercury performed absolutely flawlessly its entire way to its new home, and would win many admirers along the way. Our journey began in Waynesburg, Pennsylvania, and would continue on through West Virginia, Kentucky, and our first overnight stop would be in Nashville, Tennessee. From there we would continue on through the gently rolling hills of western Tennessee and Arkansas, on to Texarkana, our second stop. Our final destination was our new home near Houston. We decided early on we would travel as many back roads as possible. Though the roads were narrow, the scenic beauty was truly something special. Wafting along these back roads of Pennsylvania and West Virginia was almost another worldly experience, particularly when compared to that of any modern car. The proud Mercury hood ornament and vestigial fender blades glistening in the autumn light were something I will never forget. Memories of parents, grandparents, great aunts and uncles, all coming back. A reminder of a simpler time that is slowly drifting off into the ether. Though our example is a 91 model, the Panther platform on which the full-size Ford offerings of this era are based on debuted all the way back in 1979. As before, the Panther platform Marquis came in both standard and grand flavors. Grand Marquis featured additional luxury touches, such as a standard Levant grain vinyl roof, as well as the usual power and convenience features. A two-door sedan was also on offer, which is a particularly rare sight today. The mid-level Marquis Brougham featured unique paint stripes, deluxe wheel covers, and 18-ounce Tiffany carpeting. The standard Marquis was equipped with simpler door cards, wheel covers, and brightwork. Station wagons were offered in two flavors, Colony Park and Marquis Wagon. The Colony Park featured wood-tone trim and was similar to the Country Squire, though it did feature its own unique taillight treatment that was more horizontal compared to the Country Squire sibling. And as always, many options were on offer to make Marquis your very own. As we neared our first overnight stop in Nashville, it was clear this Mercury Grand Marquis was something truly special. Everywhere we went, people stopped us to reminisce. The memories evoked were both poignant and special. And the ride. There truly is nothing like cruising the countryside in a grand old American full-size car, particularly in this example powered by Ford's legendary 5.0 V8. Yes, the ride may be a little floaty and the seats are reminiscent of a living room sofa, but that doesn't make the experience any less perfect. As we near Nashville, I'll stop babbling for a moment and just let you bask in the glow of something wonderful. Though my family was always partial to Ford products as a child, there was that forbidden love affair with the Chrysler products featured in my favorite TV show, The Dukes of Hazzard. When you visit Nashville, make sure to pay a friendly visit to the Dukes of Hazzard shrine that is Cooter's Museum. Of course, after Dukes of Hazzard ended, there was the Grand Ole Opry, which as a child of the 80s I found deeply uncool. But oh, to be able to spend just one more evening with the grandparents as they enjoyed Minnie Pearl and Johnny Cash. All Panther platform-based Marquis would be designated Grand by the mid-80s, with the introduction of the Fox body Marquis. But little else was changed. This would prove to be the theme for Grand Marquis for years to come. Stick with tradition, or don't fix what isn't broke. By the time we reached Arkansas, the admiration and respect for this brand new 91 Grand Marquis only grew. It seemed even newer than the 33,000 miles it had logged over its 3-decade existence. This was a rare occasion where all expectations built up on childhood nostalgia were exceeded. It is not a Lincoln, it is not a Ford, it is something much more special. Something that doesn't exist today. This is a Mercury Grand Marquis.
The 1988 Mercury Grand Marquis. While it's changed, its essence has remained the same. 6-passenger comfort, luxury appointments, the largest trunk of any American-built car, plus V8 power, and a ride that's become nearly legendary. Mercury Grand Marquis, a great deal of comfort at a price that makes the competition rather uncomfortable. Only at your Lincoln Mercury dealer.
Nearing its final years, Grand Marquis would receive Taurus-inspired aero treatments front and rear. The hood ornament was restyled and featured the updated Mercury emblem the brand would wear until its demise. Though the look was updated, the classic lions remain. The instrument panel was completely new for 1990 to accommodate the new driver's side airbag. Virtually every other feature, however, was little changed, just the way the average Grand Marquis buyer preferred. We took a moment as we began the final leg of our journey to admire the incredible craftsmanship and detailing found on this Grand Marquis, from the Levant-grained half-vinyl roof to the signature opera lights. Yes, these details may have once seemed archaic and even silly, but these are the very details that brought so many memories to the many passers-by that stopped to take a look at this special time capsule. Maybe our parents and grandparents had better taste than we gave them credit for. One thing is for sure, Dad is going to love riding in his brand new Grand Marquis. As our journey nears an end, we ponder on why this car is so special. The Panther platform was a survivor. Even when it was but a few years old, Ford executives were already trying to kill it. Despite smaller front-wheel drive offerings, sales would continue to surprise and confound the establishment. The reason this car appeals to our senses is the same now as it was then. Grand Marquis represents a simpler time, one that we would all like to visit again. From turbine alloy wheels to hood ornaments to horizontal speedometers, this is the stuff of wonderful memories. This grandest of Grand Marquis got us to Texas in supreme comfort and without a single fault. Of note here on our LS example is a slightly more plush interior, featuring cloth in place of vinyl on the door cards, as found in the GS model. This later example's revised aero styling may have contributed to our surprisingly impressive highway mileage of mid-20s. Classic luxury features such as these cornering lamps also truly impressed with their usefulness, particularly when making turns in the darkest of backroad intersections. In all, our journey lasted 20 hours and covered 1,300 miles, but every second was truly special, thanks to this most special of Mercury Grand Marquis. Now more than ever, I get why my parents and grandparents loved this car. And I've also developed more of an appreciation for those old TV shows I once considered so deeply uncool. Those younger folks who still have your parents and grandparents around, be sure to give them a hug and take time to sit with them. Let them share the things they find dear. As time marches forward, these are the memories you will cherish. And that is the first Tofer'S Car Travels tale. It really was an incredible experience to encounter so many people along this journey that had personal stories and memories related to the Grand Marquis and similar cars. There will be more Tofer'S Car Travels to come. I hope you enjoyed. Oh, and a special hello to that little Granada coupe that joined us somewhere in Tennessee.
Very weak. Engine fire, the arrow again. Smoke and dope with John DeLorean. Lightning quicker than the planes in Kenosha. Tofer'S gonna if they don't know what it's like to be at the top. Go all electric, but your models drop. Shift into second, and soon will be experience all triviality. Come on, you gotta go in the back of my mom's Pinto. Drive a Jeep, remember the war. Need a couch, what are land yachts for? Faster than a trucker, quick as a nail. Let's all listen to Tofer'S Car Tales.